DM, the monster you created. Now, who created the monster? Was it the DM? Was it the DF? Was it the mother? Was it the father? Let's get into it. It's going to be very interesting live. Probably best yet. Hopefully, we'll see. So hopefully you can hear me, and if you can, please write in the chat that the volume's okay. So we all know the story that the DM, the divine masculine twin flame, is a monster due to the life they had. They had toxic mothers and fathers, but usually the mother, the feminine energy, very toxic. And therefore they chose to rebel against that control and that toxicity, and they went to the dark side. The DF usually goes to the light side and the DM goes to the dark side, right? So you have the same core wound, and one goes towards God and one goes towards essentially the devil or the archons or the negative side, and says, you know what, if you think I am that much of a low life, then I will be a low life. And they use their ego and narcissism and control to do that. We know this story. Everyone's talking about it. We're going to go deeper. We're going to go deeper, okay? Now, I know if you're saying that your DM is a saint, he's an angel, he's always been an angel from the beginning, then most likely he's not a twin flame, and you're not either, unfortunately. There are a few rare cases where twin flames may have done a lot of work in past lives, so this life is a little easier, but that sounds very high-level soulmate or twin rays, which we haven't talked about fully, but we will do. I have mentioned it before. Now, the purpose of a twin flame is to be able to trigger each other's darkness and shadows to be able to come into the light, okay? So you as the divine feminine will be focused on God or spirituality. However, you would have a lot of shadows that you have as blind spots that you haven't looked at and you haven't seen and you're unaware of. They're hidden. But the DM is your opposite polarity. That's the whole purpose of twin flames. Your opposites. They're going to be you, but the shadow aspect of you, which is going to trigger you and bring out all the blind spots within you so you can ascend. Now, if it was all lovey-dovey, wonderful, high-level soulmatey, jumping around in unicorns and rainbows on the street, you're not going to see your blind spots and you're not going to get triggered to ascend. Okay? Now, when they trigger you with your blind spots and you ascend, you become angelic. And that triggers their darkness because they feel that you are so beautiful, so angelic, so light, and that brings out all their unworthiness and their darkness. Okay? Hopefully you can hear me. Please write in the chat if you can. So if you're saying to me, oh, Manny, my DM was a saint and we were jumping and skipping with unicorns and rainbows and ice cream, sorry to say this to you. Probably not a twin flame. Probably a high-level soulmate, okay? Like I said, unless you've done a lot of work in past lives. Because the whole purpose of a twin flame is to show you the complete opposite polarity to trigger the hell out of you so you can ascend. Now, if they're not going to be the opposite polarity of you and be the shadow, so one is the light, one is the shadow, one is God, one is the devil, one is light, one is darkness, right? If they're not going to show you that, you ain't going to ascend. So what's the point of having it all nice and cushy and wonderful? Twin flame journey is meant to be hellish. It's meant to be. Okay, right. Okay, so if you're saying that, then probably it's a high-level soulmate. Because the twin flame purpose, especially for the DM takes on the role of being the shadow, being the bad one, being the darkness, okay? So they are there to basically show you all of the yin to your yang. So you can alchemize the shadows of yourself, of humanity, to be able to get above. So I mentioned before, we're going to bring it all together now in this one. You have your soul family. You have source, where the chaos was created. Now, if you haven't seen the past couple of lives, you're going to have to do that to get the understanding. So there's source, God, energy, where there's just chaos. Creating without any knowledge of consequence. Then you've got basically your souls created, holding on to trauma, karma, and all sorts of debris in their souls, which is affecting them lifetime after lifetime, creating the karma, which God source does not give to you. So this is all just a mess. And you as a twin flame couple are just underneath God are the soul, which is split in two in the polarity. And underneath you, the rest of your soul family is created from your oversoul. And basically, your task is to fix up the distortions. And in order to do that, one of you has to come as the negative polarity and one of you has to come as the positive polarity to trigger the hell out of each other. So you both ascend. First the DF ascends, then the DM will ascend, and then you get the codes in your system of healing the distortions, which trickle down to the rest of your soul family so they can heal. So is the DM a monster, or is he doing you a favor? Did you choose together before coming down, realizing the chaos that your soul family are doing, and you've come to fix it up like mommy and daddy? Okay. So going back to the fact that they have to embody the darkness in your soul family for you to be able to transmute that. And you know, a lot of people are like, why do I have to do all the bloody work for Manet? I'll explain all that stuff as well. So let me give you some personal stories before we delve deeper. Okay. So your questions, please keep to topic. I don't know if I'm going to answer any questions, but let's just keep to the topic first. And let's listen and absorb the information rather than going on about, oh, my twin flame messaged me. We're not doing basic level stuff. This is PhD high level twin flame content. Yeah, we're going to go really deep so we understand the whole cosmology of it. So before I went away to do healing work in Florida, Caribbean, and Mexico, my father had a hissy fit. Oh, why did he have a hissy fit? So he wanted to go somewhere, and my mom was saying, you know, he shouldn't or whatever. But because I go, he was like, why is Manny allowed to go and I'm not going? Now, I was going to heal. He wanted to go to have fun, which is fine. There's no judgment about it. But basically, before I left, the night before, he didn't speak to me. And the day of me going on my healing journey, which was quite treacherous, you know, like people do die on these plant medicine journeys, he didn't speak to me. And it was nothing to do with me. He was very distorted, right? Like a child throwing the toys out of the pram. Now, the DM has to mirror all the distortions in your soul family, all the distortions that are existing, because the chaos that came from source into your soul family, they have to mirror it. So they do that for you to be able to heal all those blockages in your bloodline, all the distortions in your soul family, and all the toxicity that you have within your soul family that's been created from the chaos. Okay, so let me give you another story, an example. Last week, Saturday, my sister had a baby girl. And I thought, you know what, let me send my DM a message with a picture. He saw it and he blocked me. And you might think, what an asshole, what an MF, you know, why would he block? Well, he acted very similarly to my father, right? So basically, first of all, he would have got overwhelmed by the picture. He would have felt like, oh, you know, it's getting too close. It's family. It's, oh, am I meant to have family with Manny and all that? It gets too much for them. They kind of go a bit crazy and loopy, but also the ego kicks in. The ego is like, oh, what about me? Manny's going to be playing with the baby now. What about me? What about me? Who's going to take care of me? And that's the ego distortions that exist in the family, soul family, right? Like when my father was basically having a hissy fit about, why is Manny going on holiday? And what about me? It's very toddler behavior. It's very unevolved, toxic masculine, very much unevolved trauma distortions. Yeah, so that's what we're trying to heal. All right, so I've got loads of notes. So DM, the monster you created. Who's the you? The you is you, divine feminine. You're like, no, I never created him. Obviously, in this incarnation on the 3D, it's his mother who has created him as the way he is with his ego, but he's chosen to become narcissistic, have borderline personality disorders and ego tantrums and overglorification, sex, drugs, and whatever. That's his choice to have done so. But we are not going to stay where a lot of twin flame coaches stay, which is on the 3D construct level. We want to go higher because that just keeps us stuck in the whole blame game, right? So if we go higher with this, from your soul family bloodline, you are the oversoul, yeah? As a oversoul, you split in two, which is divine feminine and divine masculine, two energies. So it's you, okay? And you split because you were like, okay, one of you is going to be the light, one of you is going to be the dark, and we're going to trigger each other the hell up to ascend so that we can pass the light codes, the energetic codes to our soul family who are crazy. It's like the parents have gone away on holiday and vacation, and you come back home and there's chaos and there's mess everywhere, and you come back to clean up the mess. So you have come back in this incarnation to clear up the mess that because you are source too. You are in the oneness energy. That's part of you. You are part of the whole. And that consequences of all the distortions that have been created without knowing has basically forced you, in a sense, because now you are ready to awaken, to come down as an opposite polarity to heal your soul family. And the DM has to embody all the toxic people in your life, your father, your uncles, your brothers, even female figures, sisters, moms, whatever, in your vicinity in order to be able to heal your soul family. And you will do the same for them. You will become their toxic mother when you are controlling, when you are angry, when you wish them bad and all that stuff. And some of you still are in that place, which is fine. We've all been there, but eventually you'll come out of that because you have to trigger that out of their system too. Okay. So you are here to correct the distortions that you created. Yeah. Whether you want to call yourself divine feminine, whether you want to call yourself oversoul, or whether you want to call yourself a fragment of source, it's up to you, but it's your mess. It's your mess that you have to clear up. So the DM is simply mirroring that for you like a tag team. They're your team. They're trying to help you get out of that mess. Okay. Let's go to the next piece. Okay. So your DM will mirror your father, for instance. Yeah. So your father is part of your soul family. That is your mind or your consciousness. That's your soul's creation. Your oversoul created all that distortion without knowing, without consequence. Yeah. And you must clear that up because it's your mess. It's your mess. Because often the DF's like, oh, why do I have to do all the work for? Honey, it's your mess. You gotta clear it up. It is your mess to clear up. And the DM is helping you clear the mess up because they are your soul. So they're acting as though the opposite polarity to be able to push that out of you because you both want it out. You want to clear up the house. So you both work as a team and they take on the terrible parts. Okay. Therefore you should not hate them because they're just helping you. They're amazing. Okay. So your daddy and mummy issues and wounds from lifetimes, holding on to them. You're holding on to all those issues and you're wanting from this 3D vessel for your parents to give you all this love and safety, but you have to give that to yourself first. That's how you do the process of healing all that stuff because your soul family, which will be your mother, your father, your cousins, whatever else, they are less evolved, you could say. And also they are incarnations from your oversoul. They are from your oversoul created as a soul. And if some of this is kind of mind fuckery, that's okay because we've explained a lot of it before and you may be new to the channel. So let's explain. Let's explain because a lot of this is high level stuff. Okay. This is a white piece of paper. This is your oversoul. How many dots can you create on this oversoul? Millions. That's how many souls can come out of an oversoul. An oversoul can have millions and millions and billions of incarnations. Okay. So that's what Bashar, as channeled by Daryl Anker, talks about as well. That's how you have your different timelines, dimensions, realities, and all that kind of stuff. But essentially, it's not the whole soul that encompasses a body. It's an aspect, a drop. A drop of the oversoul is in the bodies. Okay, so let's continue because it's quite high level stuff. It's quite interesting though. Right. Let me go to that page. I've got lots of notes, so hopefully you're all keeping up with it. And if you've just joined, you may need to watch from the beginning. So all that safety and love that you wanted from your soul family, you're going to have to give it to yourself because you're going to have to clear that distortion because they weren't giving it to you because they were distorted, and you are the ultimate mother and father of that soul family with your twin flame, so you got to give it to yourself. Okay. Point number 6. Let me find it. So you may say, why do I have to clear up all this mess? Because it's yours to clear up in the first place. You have created the distortions from your oversoul, from source, and your soul family have gone a little AWOL, and they have held on lifetime after lifetime to distortions, debris, and trauma, which it turns into karma. And they don't know that they can let it go. And they let it go by defocusing and then refocusing on what they want. They forgive themselves and others. They let it go and they be free of it right now. Free of it right now. You can be free of it right now, right this moment. You can be free. And you know you can. And that's what we learnt in the last couple of lives. I'm just going to tick off all the ones that I've done so that we don't repeat them. Okay, so we're going to go to point number 7 now. Okay. So the divine masculine's purpose is to show you all of humanity's ills, all the problems of humanity, the worst of the world. And you're meant to love it to ascend. You're meant to give yourself that love that you didn't get. And you're meant to love yourself and see all those distortions and ascend. Essentially, they are showing you the distortions of your soul, which is distortions of your soul family. So they're showing the distortions that exist within your soul family that your oversoul has come to fix. Okay? They are actually just a hologram, and they are just there to show you the darkness. So never take it personally. Never take it personally. I know some of you are asking questions about God knows what. I feel like they are off topic, and I'm not going to answer them right now. Because you've got to get out of your ego and just listen for now. And stop talking about, my DM's not come back. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All right. So, why does this all happen? Why is it happening this way? So the divine feminine needs the separation time to be able to learn how to trust and to learn how to form alignment with God, how to be truly aligned no matter what. Because in that process, in that alchemization process in separation, you are correcting the distortions and bringing them back into divinity, not only for yourself, but that mirrors obviously to your oversoul, which is your twin flame, but your soul family. Okay. So the DF has to learn the pain that God had to go through with the rest of humanity and souls who also refused to let go, to trust, and be in alignment with God. So imagine this, lifetimes after lifetimes, all over, eons, all these souls that were created from chaos, and all the distortions happened. God was always there saying, come this way, align to me, focus, let go of the distortions, let go of the trauma, let go of the karmic residue that's being created, and just focus on me and trust and allow. But the souls did not do that. The soul families did not do that. All the different energies, the humanity, whatever else, did not do that. So God has patiently waited for us to clear our act up, for the oversoul, for the twin flame split soul, to be able to get to that point where it's like, come on, enough's enough, let's clear this distortion. So we have to kind of, as DFs, also understand God's pain, God's sort of patience that God had with us to get to this place to heal our lineage and our soul family. That's the patience we have to have towards our DM. We have to allow ourselves to get into worthiness and allow ourselves to get into that total alignment with God. Because God waited eons of time, even before soul families made any breakthroughs, okay? Even before the twin flames realized that distortion had to be corrected by them. So we have to do as God did to us for our DM, okay? Very deep. A lot of this is very deep stuff. If some of you are new, you might have to watch old videos to be able to catch up. Okay, so the corruptions that happened to the DNA, to the soul family over millennia, that's what we have come to correct. And we correct it through light, through love, by healing the family and returning all of that distortion back to Mother Earth, so we are in our perfected state. Number 10. I hope you're all okay, by the way. The energies are, I don't know, I feel like the energies are quite good, but I think the DMs are going through quite a lot. So, we are ambassadors of God. The DF are ambassadors of God, who are sent here to understand what God had to go through in helping humanity wake up, the patience, the time taken. And the DM represents the struggle and the patience God endured. And with this knowledge and experience, the DF can do God's work on earth, hands-on, to help humanity directly, to help them let go of their distortions and for them to ascend. Now, the female and male light poured into our different meat suits. Okay, so we have obviously the DM, the DF, and the light is pouring through us to heal the entire lineage of your soul family and everything, and then everything that Mother Earth has given us to us, we basically return it back. So it's millennia of this happening on earthly plane, and we're just basically giving it all back and saying thank you. And going back to the 3D meat suit, going back to the DM itself, it would be easier for the DM if the DM wasn't taking on the darkness aspect, which they have to. But the distorted masculine has an issue with God, okay? And that's showing you your soul family's issue with God, because God waited eons and eons for the souls to actually want to fix up their lineage, want to fix up their soul family, right? After the chaos happened. And the reason is because the soul family did not align with God, did not trust, held on to all the toxicity and the trauma. So basically, the distorted masculine shows the soul family's issues that they had with God. For why did God allow all the bad things to happen? You know, but those things were all predestined for the DM and chosen by the DM himself to be able to mirror to you all the toxicity and trauma and distortions of the soul family so you could heal it, okay? The DM forgot that God was there even during the bad times, but the DM didn't reach out to God as a child or as an adolescent or whatever else. So God could not fully be there for him, because everything is free will and you must reach out to God yourself. And we are not taught as children that if something's going on wrong, you know, rather than suffer alone or ask your mommy and daddy, you go to God. God is your ultimate mommy and daddy, okay? I hope you're keeping up, because a lot of this stuff is very, very, very deep, okay? So when you hate your DM, that's actually you hating your soul family and your own distortions created from your oversoul, because they are showing you the distortions and the misalignment from source, from God, the matrix, the shadow self. So when you have issues to do with money or sex or anything that the DM is showing, that's showing you all the distortions in your line. And all of those things can be alchemized with the light and the love to bring it into its highest form and alignment, because all those things are good. And a lot of spiritual people have a lot of issues with those things, okay? There's a lot of disfranchisement between that, because you have the light and the dark, but you have to basically integrate both and ascend at the same time and bring them into wholeness. You cannot reject the materialistic aspects. You cannot. And a lot of spiritual people do, and we've talked about that a lot too, because a lot of you say, oh, money should be abolished and banned. No, you alchemize that energy with love and bring it into its highest self. Sorry, I'm just looking. I think there's just one or two more points left, and then we're done, and maybe we'll do some questions. Okay, so your DM had to do all those things to trigger you, to heal. How beautiful, because you chose that both as a team. You're tag teaming this, and now you do the same for them too. You're helping them as well through all those issues to be able to get through it. You're helping them and you're helping each other. Let me just double check that I have covered all points that I wanted to cover today, and then we can do questions. I think I have. Let's think if I covered question number 12. If I have, then that's good. Yeah, the issue with God. Yeah, done that. Okay, perfect. So in summary, DM, the monster you created, we know from all the information out there that in the 3D, the divine masculine is distorted and toxic as a monster because of their mother wound, because their mother was a narcissist and had issues which created narcissism and various other issues within them. And if they were said that they were worthless, so they're like, okay, fuck it, we're going to be the terrible person that you said. So they go towards the dark side. They play with the dark side. They play with their ego. They play with archons and dark entities and spirits actually hold on to them. Whereas the divine feminine went the other way and went through so much pain, but went towards God and love. And that was all predestined and pre-organized from above. Now, if you're saying that your DM was perfect and lovely and so kind to you from the beginning, most likely not a twin flame, because twin flame is supposed to show you your toxicity and distortion in your soul family, right? So the DM we know is a monster because of what's happened to them. We know that, but it was all a pre-planned game. You had to be the light, they had to be the darkness to trigger your blind spot so you both could ascend. So we know that. But actually deeper than that, you, divine feminine, have created the monster. So why have you created the monster? What do you mean you created the monster? Why do you have to deal with this and heal all the things? Because before you came down, when you came as a oversoul, you split into as a DM and DF, and you realize that your soul family eventually, because initially you created your soul family and all the distortions happened and people were holding on to all the toxicity, but then you were like, we need to fix this up. So you actually chose the roles of one being the monster and one being the angel, you could say, in order to be able to help one another to ascend. And so essentially you have created that. It's your distortions. It's from source, God. You created all the fractals. Your oversoul created all the soul families where there's a lot of distortion, which you've created because you weren't thinking about consequence. And now you've come to rectify and fix that. So the DM, the monster, is actually your creation for helping you clear up your own soul family lineage. And that's a wrap, folks. Any questions? So that's deep shit. Oh, just knocked that down. I hope that made sense. There's a lot of information. You probably have to watch it a few times. Let's see if there's any questions. Now, if there's any questions about my DM doesn't, blah, 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 I'm not answering that. If it's anything to do with the topic, then I'm going to answer it. I'm going to be very particular because I'm sick and tired of this victim mode of, I just don't like it, to be honest. You can hear me. Good. It will be available later, yes. Is it possible twin flames will not be together in this lifetime? A good question. Yes, there is a possibility. If you don't do your work and you don't ascend, you don't get the rewards. Some of you DFs think that you can sit on your ass and do nothing and get rewarded. Hell no. You don't just automatically get pushed along because of everyone else's work. Ascension is hard work and you got to do it yourself. All right. Let's see. Anything else? I think a lot of you got dumbstruck. Hi. I am detached from a twin flame and working on myself. But why this heart pain and purging? They're going through a lot. And they're healing. That's why you're feeling it. Just keep loving yourself. Loving yourself is loving them. And then in doing so, that's so deep. Yeah, it's so deep. Yes, very, very deep. Why the DM come to the astral to talk to me really sexy? Well, they're always attracted to you, aren't they? So they're always going to come and connect and be loving, sometimes sexual, sometimes romantic. Now, if you are distracted and you're focused elsewhere or you're detaching, then they'll come in to remind you. And if you're looking for a bit of energy, sexual energy, they'll say, you know what, I got that for you. My energy's best. My sexual energy is the best for you. So you should be focusing on me. Please share what all this hard work I'm doing, how it will help my children in the future. Wonderful question. So as you do all this work and you ascend, you give out the codes to all of your soul family, which will include your children, and they will ascend by absorbing it. Okay, your DM does that too. It's osmosis. Like they just absorb it, your hard work. But it's your creation and it's your souls. What is the purpose of the DM being broke? No job and happy? Well, this is not the question of the topic. So not all DMs are broke. Some of them have got money, okay? My DM ain't got that much money at the moment, but some of them do. But often they have it from distortion, okay? So once you have your activations and your kundalinis with your twin flame, everything distorted goes away. So everything crumbles. So your job, your this, your that, everything goes away. And then once it's all been demolished, everything has to be reformed, rebuilt from a divine template, okay? So not from the ego, not from fear, not from hatred, not from scarcity and lack, not from taking advantage of other people. That will all go away. It has to go away because anything impure must be washed away so purity can reign, so that you can heal and ascend and send those light codes to your entire soul family. When do you know you have ascended? Very good question. So we talked about inner union, which is like the bliss state or bung state, but it's just ascension is continuous. It's never ending. And there's always deeper levels and layers. You know, we can never say we have ascended and that's it, it's done. I've talked about how when the Buddha ascended, got enlightened, it's, or Jesus or whatever, it's, you have that state, but you have to remain in that state because you go back into the 3D, you go back into the temple of the city, from the temple of God. And then your ego can start causing you to go this way or that way. You say judgment, you say something nasty, you get triggered. A lot of you get triggered by your DMs. So you have to stay in 0 point. 0 point is the state of ascension, where you do not see anything as black and white. You see it all as whole. You're not judging, you're not being angry, and you're staying in that place. It's like a seesaw. You will oscillate, so you have to maintain to ensure that the oscillations are less and less and less. How can I balance the damage the DM has done with being a monster? I'm doing that because I've healed that. Okay. I feel I'm healing and growing closer to God, ascending, but any tips to keep balanced in the shared energy? Yeah, it's interesting. And I'll give an example too, because I got a question on YouTube about this, I think. It's basically this. I've been celibate for years and my DM's sleeping with everyone. Why is that? Right. If you do celibacy because you are an angry DF, or you think that by doing so, he's going to change, it's not going to work. You naturally come to these states of celibacy or whatever. You choose it for yourself because you want to, not because you want him to manipulate him or whatever. Because if you do it out of manipulation, if you do it because you are trying to get him to do the same as you, then he will do more of it. Because you have to empty, first as twin flames, when you meet, you have to empty your cup. So you both meet, and all the toxicity has to be poured out of you. Now, if you're not pouring out the toxicity from your system and you're holding it, he's joined to you, right? So he will do double the work to get it out of your system. You have to get to a place of natural equanimity or balance where you no longer feel like sleeping around or doing stuff or whatever. So that goes again with the whole monster thing, right? So you still have to empty your cup of your resentment, of your anger, of your hatred, of your judgment, which is what your DM was actually mirroring. Because actually the DM is a saint. The DM is a god. The DM is just like you. It's you, essentially. But they're just the distorted aspects of you that they're showing to you. It's your mirror. So by you hating the mirror, by you holding on to resentment, by you not seeing deeper, because a lot of DFs, I think you get stuck because you're just seeing things from the 3D, pam, 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 and he's not with me, and I want to be holding the roses and unicorns and rainbows and ice cream and holidays to Venice or whatever the hell you want. You're not thinking of it from a big, broad perspective of the game, the twin flame game, which has been orchestrated by the divine, which is you, okay? So you will get to a point when you've emptied out yourself from all the nastiness, and then you will just be in a state of peace and bliss, and you'll see them and you'll be like, you know what, you had to do what you had to do. You had all your toxicity, you were mirroring it to me, and it's okay. You helped me. You helped me ascend, and in doing so, you know, you ascend as well, because it's you with you, and you as in them, so you're both ascending, and then your soul family ascends. It's such a gift. When you start seeing it from more of a positive perspective, you will not hate them. You will kiss the ground their feet walk on. You will. Okay. So anything else I want to talk about how you balance from the damage they did? So my twin, as I told you, was doing pornographic content and was doing the drugs, sex, rock and roll, and telling me to all the time. And I hated him. I wanted him dead. And I was feeling resentful. But when I was in South America, I slept around, I dated, I did what I wanted to do. I emptied my cup, finally. And in doing so, my resentment went away, my anger went away. So don't hold on. Don't try to act, and I've done posts about this before. Don't try to act like the saintly woman sitting on a, you know, under a tree, praying, meditating, being all perfect. No one's perfect. We're all bloody monsters at the end of the day. We all have toxicity and distortions until we learn to be in 0 point and accept it all, accept all the chaos. You know, when you do ayahuasca, you see the craziness of society, and it's your craziness as well. And you just embrace everything and you love it all. You love everything. You've got to love the worst parts of you, the worst parts of him, and the worst parts of humanity. You got to love it all. You got to love every single aspect, and you've got to keep staying true to you in love. And say, you know what, you ain't perfect either. No one's perfect. We have strongly connected in the 5D, much telepathy every day, and he's seeking me constantly. Good. What if my divine family has a complicated life? Well, I'm sure they do, okay? They all do. You mean your divine family or your divine masculine's family? Okay, because I thought divine family means soul family. Okay. He has a wife. Okay, so third party. He is not in love with her. Other than that, he's got involved with me. Is there any possibility for us still? We are not talking. Again, this is not the topic, and this is your fears. Oh, Manny, will we be together? Oh, Manny, why is he with a woman? You know what? It is what it is. It's created perfectly by the divine to be able to help you to ascend. This is your assignment. Accept it, work on yourself, and trust God. If you're meant to be in union, you will be. You'll know it. You'll feel it. I mean, I only preach union anyway. You choose it as a divine feminine. He chooses it too. Just keep doing your work. Of course, you'll be in union if you want to. Just keep doing your work, but let it go. Trust and allow. And you'll get to a point where you no longer, I interviewed someone yesterday. It was amazing. You'll get to a point in 0 point where you no longer care if he's with you or is not with you because he's with you anyway. And you don't need anything from outside. So just let it be. Let it be. Can the DM only be a monster to me? In his other life, he's very... Yes. Yes. Most likely the most monster to you. My DM was the most asshole to me. A lot of other people like him. Well, some people don't like him. But yes, there can be. Most. In other life, he's very nice. He has a high frequency. He doesn't cease to do everything. Yeah. He will be nasty to you. There you go. That's true. Thank you for the earlier answer. I resonate. What's your advice for finding my soul's true essence? I feel like I've been learning but not truly making progress towards ascension. You mean your soul's true essence? Do you mean your soul purpose? That's part 4 of... Is it part 4 or part 5? Part 5 of the Twin Flame series, which was from last year, I think March to July. Watch that. It's very good. But you follow your highest excitement to get to your passions and purpose without expectation. Just keep following what feels good for you. Yeah. Why does the DF have to be so accommodating? DM, why do I have to accept the slow pace of communication because he feels safe that way? I want him dead. Sorry, I'm in a funny mood today. I'm slightly not well, actually. I've got like blocked sinuses. Anyway, so there's a lot of expectation here, right? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have... Have you watched the live? This crazy distortion in yourself, in your soul family, what your twin flame is displaying is your creation. From source when you create, and then from your soul family when you created this mess. So you got to clean it up. And you have to learn the patience that God had to have with you for you to wake up. So the fastest way for things to speed up is to completely accept it and let it go. When you stop pestering your twin flame to hurry up, they get faster. When you just say, DM, I give you all the time in the world to get to where you need to get to, and I let go, they speed up like the speed of light. I finally pushed through all the fears and doubts, finally seeing the light and trusting being faithful, but now my DM is in his darkness knots. I pray for him. So the tables have turned, right? As soon as you ascend, they go for it. Good. And they go for it quite fast. So well done. Manny, does the third party see all the distortions or do they see something different? So they're not as awake as you. They don't have their third eye open. They're living in the matrix and they are they're not a twin flame, right? They're not a DF. So they are a soul, a karmic or a soulmate. So they will be only resonating at that level of frequency. Imagine like, you know, the cameras have those lenses that go big and small. The third party's lens is going to be only small. So only they can only absorb a certain amount of things and they can't see everything else. Your lens is big and wide, so you see all the distortions from a bigger perspective. So no, the third party doesn't see. They're in fear, they're in lack, so they're just holding on. And they can feel and sense that the DM is something more, and they want to take it. But it's all orchestrated from above to help them, because the karmics and the third parties just trigger them, the DMs, so much and destroy their ego. So it's actually quite good. They do your job for you. I heard the third party is actually your sister from a previous life. Well, I don't know about that. Everyone's your brother and sister, you could say. But the third party is created in your space, manifested by you again, because you feel unworthy of divine love. And then they are created to trigger the DM, which I don't think is a necessary thing. The DM doesn't need a third party to be triggered. I think if you got rid of your worthlessness and insecurities and issues with being in a divine partnership, the third party wouldn't exist. It wouldn't exist because the DM's just showing your distortions. So they're just going to show every distorted aspect of you. And the third party is showing you where you don't love yourself fully. So if you let go of all the distortions and go into your pristine soul, full self, there would be no third party. Do I think they're your sister from a past life? Could be, could not be, but Not always. I don't think so. Okay. My husband, he is my husband, my DM, but we are both stuck in childhood wounds and not. We both near to divorce. So do your inner work. Get rid of the wounds and be free. You're lovely. I appreciate all the answers you share. Thank you. All right, wonderful. Sorry, I think I was a bit of an arsehole in this in this line. Okay, can't believe it's been 2 years exactly today that I saw my DM, feeling her in the astral more than ever now. Okay, so for me it's been 2.5 years. What are you trying to say? Wonderful. Why soulmate always disturb us? Soulmate will never stick. It will never stick. Because they're not meant to stick, okay? They're meant to just trigger and move you along too. And with that, we conclude this transmission. The DM, the monster, you created. DF, you created it, so you gotta fix it. Don't blame him. Love the DM. Amazing job they're doing. They're doing exactly what they're meant to help your soul family ascend. Always be grateful to God and the DM. Take care. Bye.